Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. I'm going to talk about the presser feet you can use for making a buttonhole and stitching a button on using your sewing machine. So here are the presser feet that I use on my baby lock. I also have a Viking sewing machine and the presser feet look different on that. So every machine is going to be a little different. So this is the one that is used for the buttonhole, and then this one is used for holding the button while it is stitched on. You need to be careful where you place your buttonholes, making sure you place them proper distance. So if you're doing a row of buttonholes down the center on a blouse, they're overlapping like a shirt does, you need to be really careful how you place everything. And I'm going to give you a link to another tutorial that I have that will show you how to place the buttons and measure properly for the placement of them. But what I'm going to do is show you at the sewing machine how I used this particular foot here. So the different options you have. So let's take a look at how this foot is used. This is the computer screen of my baby lock Crescendo. And these are all of the different buttonhole stitches that I have. When I select one, the symbol changes over here. So if I select another one, you'll notice that the symbol is different. So it's always going to look a little different depending on the buttonhole stitch. I'm going to be using this one. Up here it tells me what presser foot I need to use, and up here it shows the needle position. I've selected a buttonhole stitch and I place my buttonhole foot, presser foot on. I've got the button in the back. Before I can stitch, I need to pull this lever down right here. Then I just start stitching. And it will just automatically do everything. All you need to do is step on the presser foot. It'll slow down when it's almost done, and then all you need to do is cut your thread, and then you are done. And there is your buttonhole. If you're interested in seeing the full video where I talk about placing your buttonhole measurements, how to measure for everything, make sure you scroll down to the description section. Once you see the word more, click on it. That section will expand open and you will see a variety of links down there. So make sure you check out that tutorial. I get a lot of questions about sashing, so I'm going to go over some of the basics of how to get started putting your sashing on a quilt. Sashing are the strips that you see surrounding these blocks. And it helps to highlight the blocks, section it off. If your blocks are not all exactly the same size, your quilt's not going to come together very well. It's going to be very difficult to put the sashing on. So it's really important that every square is squared to the exact same size. So check them all out. So if you're having a problem putting them together, it's probably because there's one or two in there that are not the same size. Once you have all of that done, then you're going to put sashing on the side edges here. So you're going to cut your sashing measuring this edge here. So cut the strips for the sides to that measurement. Then you're going to start at one end to put the pieces on. So on the first block at the beginning of the row, you're going to put your sashing on each side and use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then go to the other side of this first block and put a piece of sashing on. Then you're going to take your next square and attach it to that piece of sashing. And then you're going to go to the next piece and then the next piece. Every row will end with a piece of sashing. Now you need to press the seams. If your sashing is darker than your squares, then I recommend you press the seams on the back towards the sashing strip. So this seam here is pressed going over this way. You would do that on all of your sashing pieces. So after you have the sashing pieces attached in between each square, then you're going to cut a long strip of sashing that goes in the middle, or in between each row. And then of course at the very bottom you would have a strip down there. If you want to see these steps in a lot more detail, I'm going to have a link to this sashing tutorial down below your YouTube screen. There will also be a link to another tutorial in which you can see sashing that has cornerstones, and they're little squares in between everything to really highlight the blocks. I also get asked by viewers, where do I buy my towels for the kitchen? And I make a lot of decorative towels. And most of them I get at Walmart. I do find them in other stores, but I live in a very small town and Walmart is all we have. So I find a lot of really cute ones there. Sometimes I find them at our Smith supermarket if it's like a seasonal towel. So here are some of the towel styles that I have. If I want to use towels to go into my embroidery machine, I like the tea towels, which I also get at Walmart. And you can get 2 in a package like this. And these are not thick and they're perfect for doing embroidery stitching on them. Now I don't just make decorative towels out of them. I also make something called a towel apron. These are very quick projects, and so this is a cute little towel I did get at Walmart. It's got pineapples all over it. So I chose a color for the trim here that was kind of in the towel itself, that sort of went with one of the colors so that it would kind of harmonize better. And if all you wanted to do to this towel was put a waist tie on it, it's really simple to do. You cut a long strip, you fold it over, and stitch it on all the way down. You could actually also, if you wanted to, cover the edges with another piece of fabric. And there again, what I did was, I started on the back side. I laid this fabric on the back, stitched it along this edge, then folded over, and then folded over to the front, and then stitched it down. So these are really quick projects to do. If you want to see this particular one, I do have a link below your YouTube screen in the description section. Another towel apron is, this one was for a little girl, a little child. And I actually took a towel and cut it in half to make this little miniature apron. The casing for this ribbon to tie around the waist, all I did was do a zigzag stitch over the edge so that it wouldn't unravel, then fold it over, gave it plenty of room for this ribbon, and stitched it down. And this can make a really quick little project for a child. You can add other items, like I cut out a heart shape, use fusible web to actually add a little bit of an embellishment. And then I did a little satin stitch along the edges. If you don't want to do all this, but you still want to embellish it some way, you can always stitch rickrack along the bottom edge. If you're interested in learning how to do embellishments like the applique, the little heart, I'm going to have tutorials down below your YouTube screen that'll take you through some of the basic steps of doing applique pieces on them. You'll learn how to use fusible web, things that I use to cut out all of the different shapes. So go down below your YouTube screen in the description section, click on the word more. That section will expand open and you will see a variety of links appearing down there. So I hope these tips were helpful to you. Now make sure you follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.